This political season, all of us in this room, we have a goal. And that is to take back control of Congress on November 2nd of 2010. That is our #1 goal, and the good news is we are moving in that direction. The political winds, both here in the state. I was excited to hear about what you all are about to pull off in the state, as well as what we are about to pull off in the United States Congress. The winds are moving in our direction. The momentum is with us. The intensity amongst the voters is amongst the conservative and Republican voters, but we can't let up. We dare not let up. Because as soon as we let up, then something will happen. And that 50% of what I call the clueless ones out there will do an end run, and the next thing you know, we will not be able to take back control. Because I know you've heard this before, but I'm going to say it again about this election. This is going to be the most critical election in all of our lifetime. Because we have no balance of power there now. And many of you all know, because you are active with the party, that it is so critical to get back control of the House. Even if we don't get control of the Senate, we get back control of the House. That's where you control the money. That's where you control writing the tax laws. And then we'll be able to work on the next few years. So that's my goal. That's your goal. And I've been all over this country. I've spoken at probably in the last year, I've probably spoken at over 30 rallies, tea parties, Republican meetings all over this country. And the intensity that you're seeing from your neighbors and your friends is exactly the same all over this country. I call it the citizens movement. And the citizens of this country will not be denied. Even though the other side wants to try and demonize and demean and intimidate, but it's not working. It is not working. As Patrick mentioned, I do a radio show in Atlanta 5 nights a week on WSB 750 AM, and it's also 95.5 FM. And you can also hear it online every night at Herman Cain.com. And if you download the app, you can also hear it on your mobile device. In other words, you can't get away from me. You cannot get away from my radio show if you really want to find it, okay? But doing my radio show every night is really giving me an opportunity to stay in touch with what the people are saying, what they're feeling. And one of the things that I have picked up, been asked, been told, that I get this call a lot, because a lot of people are figuring out they don't like the direction of this country. And that momentum is swinging in terms of those independent voters who realize that hope and change was an empty promise. I'll never forget one night I got a call from a lady who's identified herself as a black female, 34 years old, former military. And she said, Mr. Cain, I would like to take this opportunity on your radio show to apologize to the rest of America for voting for Barack Obama. I said, black female. Now here's another myth that the liberals want you to believe. They want you to believe that 95% of all black Americans voted for Barack Obama. They didn't. They want you to believe that 95% of all black Americans are going to vote for Obama the next time around. They won't. I just saw some research earlier this week that said that 35% of black Americans who are voters have awakened to the falsehood of this president and this administration. So he will not get this landslide amount of the black vote, not in 2012. Because contrary to what a lot of people might think, a lot of people are waking up and they're thinking for themselves. They're thinking for themselves. And so there's a lot going on, but I am optimistic based upon what the Cook report says and what Dick Morris said. I spent a couple of days with him a few weeks ago. Dick Morris is a walking political encyclopedia. I mean, he's incredible. And so the winds of change are blowing our way, but we cannot mess it up. That's the first thing. We have to stay united because they are trying to divide us. On the radio, because I am an American who happens to be black, who happens to be conservative, I define myself as an ABC. American, black, conservative, okay? Because of that position, I get a lot of callers who want to call me names. I'm used to it. The list is getting so long, I started writing them down and put them on a list, and it's hanging in my studio. I just hang it up in my studio and just have some fun with it. It was Nancy Pelosi who first called the Tea Party people AstroTurf. Now, right from the beginning, I identified myself as a Tea Party person on the radio. Because the Tea Party people as they call it, they only want three things. They want fiscal responsibility, which we don't have. They want, do not take away our liberty, recognize the Constitution. That's what they want. Fiscal responsibility and get government out of the way of the free market system. That's all this citizen movement is all about. But yet, every day, every time I read another article, they're taking another swipe at this movement. They're trying to figure out who and what's in the lead of it, where's the head of this thing so they can kill it. But they can't kill it because it's the people that's driving this. Some of you are doing it through your participation in the Republican Party. A lot of people are doing it through other organizations. They cannot stop this because we, the people, are what's driving this, and that's what's going to drive us right through November 2nd in order to take back our government. So we can Harry Reid said we were unpatriotic. Janine Garofalo said we were teabagging racists. How did they come up with that? Then, one night on my radio show, this is a new one that I never anticipated. I've been called a sellout. I've been called an Uncle Tom. Bill, you know, you feel my pain. I've been called a sellout. I've been called an Uncle Tom. I've been called a turncoat. All of those different names. But if you stand on what you believe in, you don't care what people call you. You do not care what they call you if you know what you believe and who you are. Then one night I got a call from this gentleman. I think it was a gentleman, I don't know. He said, Mr. Cain. That was his voice. I'm not making this up, man. Yes, sir. Mr. Cain, you are shameless. I said, excuse me, sir? You are shameless. So why do you say that, sir? It's shameless that you, being a black man, would criticize our black president. I said, well, sir, it may be difficult for you to comprehend what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to try. Two things. Number one, contrary to some people's belief, some black people can think for themselves. And I said, secondly, when we and if we ever reach a time in this country where the citizens cannot criticize its elected leaders, it is no longer a republic, it has become a nation ruled by tyranny, and we are not going to let that happen on our watch. Simply said, have a nice life. Because I doubt if I'm going to be talking to him again. But we do have to take this country back. We have to take this country back. And I'm excited when I travel around and see all the enthusiasm and all of the people that are working. Young people that are here, I said to these young ladies, I said, what grade are you on? They're in 12th grade, they're in high school, and they're working over here. I said, do you know, working over here, you might be accused of being conservative. And they said, that's okay. that's okay. Because it's for our kids and our grandkids that we are doing what we are doing. It's for them. We're going to be okay. Okay? We're going to be fine. It's for our kids and our grandkids that we want to take back our country. So the three things that I suggest to people: stay united. Don't be divided by intimidation and labels and all of the other stuff that they try to throw at us. Secondly, stay informed. Know the issues. Know the candidates. Know what's at stake. And then you can help share some of that information with some of your friends and neighbors, those that are listening. You're not going to save the savable. You're not going to save those that can't be saved. Save the savable. That's what this whole movement is all about. And then number three, stay inspired. They want you to believe we can't do this. They want you to believe that they have this country moving in their progressive, liberal, socialistic, fascist direction, and we are not going to stop it. That's right, I said it. I remember 2 years ago when I started saying this country's headed down the track of socialism. Then I got a caller who'd call up and say, I know you didn't say the S word. Why not? That's what this is looking like. How dare you say this country is headed towards socialism? Why don't you go look up the definition of socialism and you'll understand why I said it's moving down this track. But it has gotten worse because it's now accelerated. No leader in the world would add 3 dozen czars with the intention of doing anything other than transforming this nation from the republic that we are to something else. That's an unworkable model. You got 15 cabinet members, and then you're going to appoint 3 dozen czars. For what? A shadow government, that's what. A shadow government. So stay inspired. And you can be inspired by what's happening all over this country because you are part of it right here. Because we can achieve that goal in November 2010. And I'll tell you another thing that inspires me. The other thing that inspires me, I have 3 grandkids. 1, 11, 6, and 1 year. And that's what inspires me. But I also get inspired because of my mom and my dad, my parents. You see, my dad worked 3 jobs at one point in his life in order to be able to achieve his American dreams. He was a barber, a janitor, and a chauffeur, all at the same time. Because he needed 1 job to keep a roof over our head, that second job to keep food on the table, and the third job to save for his dreams. One of his dreams was for his sons, the 2 of us, to be able to get a little bit better start in life. And we did. That's what we want to do, is to give our kids and grandkids a little bit better start in life. So they inspire me. What my parents were able to do in this nation against the odds is inspiring. And then back in 2006, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I had cancer in my colon and my liver. And I had to go through chemotherapy, recuperate, go through double surgery. When I say double surgery, they didn't do surgery twice. They took out part of my colon and part of my liver all in the same operation. Recuperate and get some more chemotherapy. And so my surgeon told me that I had a 30% chance of making it through all of that. And a 30% chance of making it, 70% chance all this stuff may not work. I said, Doc, I'm going to be in the 30%. He said, if more people had your attitude, I could save more people. Yeah. That was 4 years ago, and I've been cancer-free ever since. Now, I tell you that, not to give you my medical record, I tell you that because that experience with all of the blessings that I have had in my life was God saying to me, not yet. Not yet, Herman. There's some other things that I need you to do. And at the time, I did not know what that might be. But life is unfolding.